You ever wonder why two people can grow up in the same neighborhood, go to the same schools, and live under the same sky, but end up with completely different lives? One breaks through, builds something great, lives freely. The other, barely. It gets by, repeating the same patterns over and over. It's not just luck. It's not just connections. It's mindset. And when I say mindset, I don't mean repeating affirmations or thinking positive just for the sake of it. I mean the invisible programming that shapes the way you see the world and yourself. The way the rich think about life, risk, time, and value is wildly different from how the poor think, and that difference shows up in everything. Let's break it down, not just in terms of money, but in terms of how life is lived. Because rich and poor isn't always about the bank account, it's about the way you approach your minutes, your energy, your future. Let me ask you something. How do you spend your time? Because the poor mindset sees time as something to kill. The rich mindset sees time as something to invest while some scroll aimlessly for hours or binge distractions to numb reality. Others are building, learning, reflecting, thinking, not because they have all the answers, but because they know they need better questions. The poor mindset waits for permission. The rich mindset takes initiative. People with a scarcity mindset are always looking for someone to tell them what to do, a boss, a savior, a shortcut. But those who grow wealth in any sense are looking for problems to solve. They create opportunities where others see dead ends. You ever hear someone say, "I can't afford that"? The rich mindset doesn't say that, not even silently. It says, "How can I afford that? What would I need to learn, build, or offer to get there?" The poor mindset fears failure like it's the end. The rich mindset knows failure is data, it's direction, it's feedback. It hurts, sure, but it teaches you what no textbook can. Now let's talk about comfort zones. The poor mindset clings to comfort. The rich mindset gets suspicious of it, because they know growth never lives where things feel easy. The rich mindset chooses discomfort on purpose, not because they're reckless, but because they understand every version of you that ever grew did so by leaving behind something familiar. Think back to a hard season in your life, maybe even right now. What if this isn't punishment? What if this is the pressure required to produce the best version of you? It's easy to say, "I want more." It's another thing to become more, and that's where many stop. They say they want success, but they fear what they'll have to let go of to get it. Comfort, distractions, old habits, familiar people. The poor mindset clings to the rich mindset releases. Now let's look at responsibility. The poor mindset says, "It's not my fault." The rich mindset says, "It may not be my fault, but it is my responsibility." That's a big one, because responsibility is where transformation begins. The moment you stop waiting to be rescued and realize you're the one holding the pen. What story are you writing? Because if your days are filled with complaining, blaming, resenting, you're leaking energy. The rich mindset doesn't waste energy. It channels it, focuses it, builds with it. And don't get it twisted. People with a rich mindset fail all the time. They get knocked down, doubted, misunderstood. But what they don't do is stay down. They rest, they reflect, then they rise. Let me tell you something personal. There was a time I believed I'd always be stuck, working jobs I didn't love, living paycheck to paycheck, dreaming but never doing, and then something shifted. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a big event. It was a series of quiet moments where I started to think differently. I stopped asking, "Why is life so unfair?" And I started asking, "What can I do with what I've got?" I started reading more, listening more, not to noise but to wisdom, to mentors I never met, to books, podcasts, even my own silence. Because when you start thinking differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, your life has to change. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts the moment you say, "I'm not going to stay small just because it's comfortable. I'm going to evolve." You don't need millions in your account to start thinking rich. You need millions of moments of awareness. You need curiosity, courage, a refusal to settle. And let's talk about one more thing. Legacy. The poor mindset thinks in days. The rich mindset thinks in decades. What you're doing today, it's not just about today. It's shaping who you'll be in 10 years. And that version of you, that future you, is begging you to stop playing small. You're not just building wealth, you're building you. So, I'll ask you this. What's one thing you can change today? A thought, a habit, a belief you've been holding on to that's keeping you stuck. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start thinking differently. That's how everything changes. If this spoke to you, don't just click away and forget it. Sit with it, rewatch it, share it, reflect. Because the moment you truly shift your mindset, you shift your entire life. And if you're ready for more conversations like this, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow together. This is at Evil Vexment, and your evolution begins now.